and I say dear ne kauna. The question is dear kran and namso koma obi kunya adwene yare. Dear and I contribute to those factors. I never so obi aya wono hwenye no na so yese sebe wabodam na se na dwene mo eka no kakra. The question is dear ne dear edimi koba sebe eye no kure se enruboni a yetanu mu ya kura so no ene sankura bi so yetanu mu ano den so no etimi ema adwene mu ka eba na anase physical abuse anase verbal abuse so obi etimi ye obi anase awari mu kura no anase obi no bi akotwempena na nipa no bi awate na koma nyina so ekofa adwene mu kan yare eba na and what is mental health and the challenges and obi bisa say aso we no ye wo yetimi so ano senya ebi anim no no say na so ene no hwe wo man mu a ehuni padodo bebre ni na monten a ebi se bi ono shatare mo na monten so a senya on tie kura no bisa say ye de wabodam we de watechi ne nyina so ye nkoma no pay yetina sia ebetumi edi ebi onam wo kama na so bia na wadwemu yare na so bia na woni ebi otumi kasa kama pa oye bibia kama pa na so bia na dwemu yare ebi wo so ebi na woni mo gidi se bia nkomo we ba ma bema Kenya wa ma wo se da bi bia na bibisa wo nti ebi e wo sem tu anamontem ana se bia earlier treatment no ebetumi ama ebi me ho atomi ana anopay yene ora Besmark Kwabla Kobi oye executive director at my BSK Health Advocacy Foundation, a senior mental health nurse, also a practitioner, also a mental health advocate. Mr. Besmark Kwabla Kobi, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope so. Here. Bia come on.
But the language barrier aspect.
Mental health.
Yeah.
Adwene yare. What is mental health?
Thank you so much. Before I proceed, I will indulge your permission to greet some few people before.
Okay.
My first greetings go to our CEO of Mental Health Authority.
Mental Health Authority.
Yeah. That is Professor Dr. Pinama. She's our current CEO.
So Mr. Asari is no more, right?
Pardon me.
Is it one Asari? It's no more, right?
No, he was the former.
He was the former.
Yeah.
So now Mr. Pinaman.
Professor Pinaman.
Professor Pinaman.
Yeah.
I see.
She's the one. So my regards to the former CEO to Professor Kofi.
Yeah.
He has been of great help to me. Dr. Kokwasi Dunketia, Mr. Prosper Mugame, my church, New Covenant Apostolic Church, my colleagues at BSK Health Advocacy Foundation, and my workplace, and all mental health practitioners.
All mental health
practitioners. My regards to them this morning.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Now, Kofi, when we talk about mental health, it's not about the illness. But the mental health is about your state of being well.
Your state of being well.
So the state of well-being.
Yes.
That is the mental health. So when we say mental health, you before I look at you, are you mentally healthy? I have to look at what are the situations that will determine whether you are healthy or ill.
Maybe two way me expert. So two way. Ultimately me. Madam who say you mentally sound and I say you're mentally healthy. How would I know? Madam so I don't have the eye. So when we say somebody is mentally healthy or mentally sound, it means that the person can run his or her daily activities without any hindrances or disturbances. Say what you know what you know you're fine.
Yeah.
One can support me, you will be biara.
Exactly.
Be and see who quite be bia and touch you or baby.
Exactly.
So you can do without any supervision. One can support me, will be bia or be cobeba or them say if you know it's time for sleeping, you have to sleep.
Exactly.
Yes, that is mental health.
Mental health.
Say you are in a state of mental health.
Well-beingness.
Well-beingness. Yeah.
Yeah. So now when we talk about mental illness,
that
is the
yeah.
So when we talk about mental illness, at this stage, the person's thoughts, feelings, that's his emotions, and the behavior are not balanced or in line with how somebody should be mentally healthy. Yeah.
How I feel emotionally. Then it means there's a problem.
There's a problem. So for us to determine somebody who is mentally healthy or somebody who is having mental challenges, so we don't say you are mad or what about them. We don't use that words. We don't. So somebody, we can say somebody is mentally challenged.
So we can use that word.
Yeah, mentally challenged person. Or a person living with mental illness.
A person living with mental illness.
So we don't use it falls under stigmatization.
Say,
you say, what about them? What about them? Or this it's mental. That is stigmatization against the person.
That is stigmatization.
Yeah. So not at all.
We don't use that word.
No, that word is not. So you can say, oh, the person is suffering from or living with mental, just like Kafran, somebody is having HIV. Accident or something. So the person is being amputated, so it's living with amputation or disability. So mental health, mental illness is it is a disability. So the person is living with it.
So mental health is a disability.
No, mental illness is a disability.
Illness is a disability.
Yeah. So the mental health forms the emphasis, the umbrella. So this mental health. You are mentally healthy, fine. But the illness is when you are not able to balance your relationships, your day-to-day activities, and things that perceived by the majority or the society to be normal. But it's like you are veering off. So somebody can use that one to determine that maybe, as you may see, there is some issue with the person. That's when you can determine that the person might be living or is suffering from
mental
this condition. And you see, when we talk about mental illness, everyone lives with one condition or the other.
Hey!
Oh, yeah. So that is the fact on the ground.
Also, yeah, can't agree more.
Yeah.
One way or the other, no, will be.
Oh, everybody.
Hey!
Yeah. So
and a man goes out to say,
that's why you see, one thing about when we talk about mental illness, it's not necessarily the person you on the street or on the baller or carrying tattered clothes around or dating stuff. That's when we say somebody is mentally ill or living with mental illness.
Yeah, I see.
It's stress. That is anxiety disorders. It's also a mental illness, and we live with that.
All anxiety
disorders,
of
which stress is the
falls under mental illness.
Exactly.
Oh, cook away.
You see, so the stress is what forms the basis of that anxiety disorders.
No. But on a more serious note, if stress.
Yeah,
and anxiety disorders falls under mental illness.
That is the reason why I was saying.
You are using the word again. If it works stress,
you are using the word again. So, if we talk about mental illness, we have conditions. We have schizophrenia. That is the most severest form of mental illness. That is, the person comes with psychosis and other things. So, the person exhibits hallucinations. So, the hallucination you use your senses to mark it. So you have the auditory hallucination that the person hears voices. You see, sometimes when you see those living with mental illness on the street, you see some can be them be communicating or dancing.
Yes, in the sky.
It's not that the person is just doing that. The person is having auditory hallucination. The person is having voices. He's living in another real realm, and he or she hears voices communicating to him or her. That's when the person will be laughing. And so for you know, he sees something entertaining him, but you are not seeing it. So that is when we the visual hallucination. So he's seeing it, but you are not. He hears, or the person will be scratching the screen. That's starter hallucination. That one, the person is feeling that some things are working on his body.
So he's scratching the body.
It's scratching the body.
Uh-huh.
You see, then the person can exhibit delusion. You are not the president of America. You can say, but you are saying, I'm the president. I'm the president of Ghana. I'm this and that. Meanwhile, in reality, you and I know that the person is not that. So it's exhibiting those psychotic features.
I see.
That's a hallucination. So the psychosis aspect. Then we come to bipolar, the mood disorders.
The bipolar.
Yeah. So the mood disorders, bipolar and depression falls under it.
Bipolar depression.
Yeah.
Falls under that mood
disorders.
It is said because the mood assessor, mood swing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Within 10 minutes now I did why more.
So before we
so did not fall under mental health.
Yeah, it falls under
mental illness.
So we call something premorbid personality of the person. The premorbid personality, when we explain, it's like how the person used to be. Before you diagnose the person and know that, oh, this is the condition that is that the person is suffering from, you have to look at the premorbid personality of the person. So you look at how the person, when he was born, how does he behave from childhood. So that is when the relative comes in, when we are doing the diagnosis, the assessment. So, as for Bismarck, when he was born, he was jovial person. Oh, he goes out, he goes to party, or he plays games with the colleagues. But now we realize that it's always indoor. So we know that, okay, your premorbid personality, you might fall under jovial extrovert personality types. You get it. So now we know that such a person, any condition the person will suffer mania, which is the bipolar. It consists the mania and the depression. But if you were born and the person has been exhibiting that withdrawal introvert type of person, and the person now developing mental illness, the person is likely to be more of depression. You getting it?
I see.
So you now use all those assessments to determine that, oh, the condition the person is likely. So sometimes you can see somebody, you know that in case the person is predisposed to mental illness, and it happens, this person will suffer from this kind of condition because of the premorbid personality.
Because so much I remember when we were at school.
Yeah.
One of my colleagues, Nibi.
Yeah.
Timu said at the time, na fe ubekonona or dormitory or nunkwa. No, we're keeping itself for dormitory.
Yeah.
What can I say? Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. In a few minutes, ubekonona or something normal.
So the person's personality type will be the borderline personality. So borderline talks about mood swing. The person can be a little okay, small time, it goes off small. But that at that moment, the person is not living with mental illness. You getting it? But that is the personality of the person. So now, if the person suffers from mental illness, maybe due to substance abuse.
So that reminds me, my embrow. So the mental illness, no?
Yeah.
A DNA kofaba is it through birth, and not to say things that we do and this mental illness maybe, and I said this mental challenge maybe.
Okay.
Is it right from birth?
Thanks so much.
Is it from where? Is it their substance abuses that we
Okay. So when we talk about the causes of mental illness,
yes, the causes.
We have biopsychosocial factors. Yeah. So the bi talks about the biological factors. So the biology, you talk about the genes formation. So the hereditary. So exactly. No. So what it means is that let's say my father, which is not, let's say my father suffers from mental illness.
Not all the war.
The probability of you suffering from mental illness is higher than somebody whose forefathers haven't suffered from that condition before. So at that moment, you are predisposed to mental illness already.
Because of it's been hereditary, no?
Exactly. So when you are being exposed to risk factors, like let's say smoking, then it now triggers that condition to come, because already per the history, your forefathers, somebody in the family has suffered it. So the percentage,
it could be says oh abushia
Yeah.
na obi da abushia ni mu
Yeah.
na owo sadwene mu ka yare ya bia
yeah,
obi betime nya bi abushia ni mu through hereditary.
yeah, already it's in your
It's in
family.
the system.
It's in the
genes
family,
ni mu.
the gene.
And
So-
one hen ya
Uh-huh.
obetime nya bi, but that will be when you trigger it.
You trigger it.
Ebia uko smoky.
You smoking, doing a whole lot of stuff that doesn't go well with your system. Do you get it? So the hereditary factors is that, let's say if you take twins, twin brothers, one suffers from mental illness, the other one has probability of 50% of also getting it,
Because
they are from the same lineage. So it's just a matter of time the person doing something to trigger it. You get it.
I
So the same way when you are siblings, that one you are not identical twins or twins, yours limit comes down than the one with the from twin line. And the same way the family line too is lesser than those from the sibling line, you know. Do you get it? Let's say you are extended family person, but Kafla, my grandfather suffers it, but you are my cousin or my extended auntie. The probability of me having it is higher than you. Do you get it?
Yeah, Matthias.
Because of the lineage. So that is the hereditary aspect. So biological, we have hereditary and hormonal aspect. We have some hormones in the system.
Wow, nipedua yi.
Yeah. So neurotransmitters, we have dopamine, serotonin, all those things help with your mood, whether you should be lovely or sad. So anything that triggers those hormones to go up or low than the normal level in your system can trigger you to suffer from mental illness.
Hey.
That is why, so sometimes when you are telling somebody that substance abuse, smoking, marijuana, and those things are not good, the person so is medicinal, the person so this person have been smoking for long, nothing happen. Maybe for all you know, the person's
The hormones no different.
the family lineage,
Yes.
maybe nobody suffers from
That thing.
that thing before. So it's just a matter of time. He too can suffer it too. But the issue is that you who has a history of family members suffering from it, you are likely, maybe you just go for one shot now, you are on the street.
No because if you abushia ni mu.
So
I see.
you get it.
I see.
So that is
I
the
see.
biological aspect we are
I see.
talking about. Then psychological comes through a whole lot of things that affect your cognitions.
Yes,
your,
way
your
of thinking,
thinking, your thoughts. So anything that goes against you to the extent that you couldn't pass through your grieving processes, you know, anything that comes, whether through losses or whatever, you have to go through the processes of grieving.
Obuwa be examination failure. Will be also be
Marital issues.
Obuwa
Financial issues. You are
Obuwa,
not able to.
Obuwa ebia ne maame bi ne papa bi awu ne nwa bi awu odi yawo.
You couldn't take it. Your business collapsed.
Your business
Now you are in
collapse.
debt.
Ne nyina so etimi ma wonya sa adwene mu yare.
Exactly. You couldn't handle the situation. So we call something like that. Maybe the person is fixated at a certain level. We have the data for grieving processes. So you are at denial stage first. Do you get it? Yeah. So you pass through all that. The last one, which is awareness, or acceptance. That is when you have to accept that, oh, the thing that is really happened, it happened.
Happy. So now you have to look for medication.
But if the person is not able to pass through the grieving process to acceptance level, the person is likely to suffer, or he will suffer from mental illness.
Actually, thank you. Around Bismarck Kwabla Kobe, our executive director at BSK Health Advocacy Foundation, our senior mental health nurse, and then come on, I don't know. What can be brave, and some of the words maybe were very technical, and TBA one could tear here, maybe an answer, but for maybe wow, the shishi more. Sabrofo no na any wutwi ho
These are some of the this is
yes.
how to explain it in the local language is difficult.
Terminology ni bi ha. Just any tree bed.
Yeah, that's why sometimes we have to explain how it comes about.
I see.
So the socio-economical factors.
So we have
biopsychosocial.
Now, oh mommy, you are giving us the courses.
Yeah.
The bema obi to me enya adwunemuka yare ye ne bi.
Yeah.
Ebi wo how say yeah the wo.
Yeah.
Onyane efri abusua ni mu. That is a hereditary.
Your hormonal imbalances.
And by birth, right?
Exactly.
Yes. And two, hormonal imbalances
in the system.
Our system ni mu obi wo oni peduano empenye mebi ebia na wo so akwa fa nrobi boni bia no na fe akotrega no bo se na fe yesi we ankrofo no de bia yi ensen ankrofo no de bia ono konum bia akwa bodam no nyina no na hormonal balances no ene bia wo de no akọ de wo konum ye no akotrega no amede desire de na akọ de akoba. Now you are giving us the next one.
So I made it biopsychosocial.
Biopsychosocial.
So the biological aspect, psychological and social, you get it. So the bio is the genes and the chemical aspect, the hormonal. Then when we come to psychological aspect, that's when I was talking about our thinking faculties, our emotions, the feelings. Then when you come to socio-economical factors, that's when your finances, the one you mentioned about marital issues. It can be as a result of maybe displacement, as in natural resources, like what happened at Volta region.
Yes.
The Akosabo Dam spillage. Somebody, because of the damage caused to your properties.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
So those are the factors.
Yeah. So word no, almost say it's out. Yeah.
So or you can just make
stigmatization, no, and can say be our mental health challenge. And I say a person living with mental health challenge, and I say mental illness, and I say so we are it is too harsh, and cancer, it is not part of the health communication, and it's out.
So what I want us to do today is that now we've laid the basis for mental illness.
Yes.
What it is, mental health, mental illness, and the causes. What is it? But because our campaign for this month is based on maternal mental health, I would love
mental health.
So I wish we talk about it.
Maternal mental health. Oba wakwa woso.
The potential woman,
potential pregnant
woman, the pregnant woman, the one who gave birth within a year.
And no, was one as obi awofa yefunu de where den se binya adwene yare.
You see, so when we are talking about maternal mental health, so we are talking about what the person should do during the time of your pregnancy, during labor, and after delivery 1 year after. You get it?
Yeah.
The time you are pregnant, during labor period, and 1 year after giving birth.
A man muntie ni yo, a man come we come mo pa, me man so muntie, but a man to muntie. So mental health, maternal mental health.
Yeah. So when we talk about that one, we want the woman to be in a full state of mind. That's why we say maternal mental health. You should be healthy. It's allowed that when you are pregnant and you give birth or taking care of the child, you should be able to be mentally sound, balanced in your doings. But when illness comes, that's when it becomes maternal mental illness.
92.3.
You get it? So we look at what are some of the factors that can cause maternal mental illness. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So situation whereby you have a pregnant woman during the pregnancy.
Oba wa fa yifunu.
Yeah.
Sa breno wa fa yifunu ni mu no.
Yeah. And there is a pressure or sexual abuse or physical abuse from the husband.
Like, you know, on
exactly.
Yeah.
It triggers the person to suffer. Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes, sexual abuses, physical abuses, slapping, or verbal abuses.
Yeah.
The person can insult the wife from head to toe. Exactly. And also, maybe, at the time of delivery, maybe due to certain complications, the person was having distress, maybe push. The person has no energy to even push. And all those things led to the death of the child. So all those things will make the woman do what? Will suffer a lot of depression. So when we talk about maternal health or illness, these are some of the causes. We have postpartum depression. Then we have anxiety, that's disorders. Then we have psychotic disorders.
I see.
So the psychotic aspect is become more when the woman, after giving birth or during that period, the person is now exhibiting hallucinations, as I stated first.
Yeah.
You realize that, no, then they say the child is not her own. Ignores the child. So the child is not my own. Breastfeeding, they will not breastfeed the person. It can be as a result of exhaustion that the person suffered during the labor. So all these things triggers the person's mental health, and it leads to other cases. Some can even kill the child. You get it? It's suffered maternal illness, but you might not know. So, oh, this person gave birth and it just killed the child, or put in the water or toilet or this, and the person suffered some distress. It can happen as a result of maybe neglect of the partner, the person who impregnated the woman. You impregnated me. Later on, you say you are not the one. Now the families are insulting the woman every day. That alone can trigger the person's mental soundness or statusiness to illness aspect. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So a lot of factors come into being. Maybe the woman is pregnant, and at that moment the body changes also happens. Then the husband say, you were slim lady, I married you, and now you are now some way.
You are now like Obolo.
So the man is always abusing the woman verbally. Oh, if I made mistake of all this thing will trigger. So you see, all those things are factors we have to be looking at when dealing with those maternal cases or mental illnesses. So maybe you give birth finish, but you are thinking about how am I going to care for the child. The person give birth finish, but you realize that taking care of the child is now a challenge to the person.
Yeah.
So how to go about it to become a challenge? Now me I haven't given birth before.
So you'll be
Overthinking. Now the feeding for the baby is also another. I don't have money. All those is will cause the mother to suffer a mental illness.
I see.
And also maybe financial issues, financial constraints or inequalities in income. Now you know that giving birth now is expensive. Looking at the economy and other aspects, the cost of living and other stuff. And here is the case, you give birth to 2 or triplets.
And when you know, do we have treatment for it?
Yeah, mental health.
Or do we manage them?
I will say most of the cases are being managed, but depressive cases, depression and anxiety conditions, you can treat them.
Anxiety
cases, depression, stress, and those
things.
It's about management, how you take care of yourself, and we have processes for all those things. We have the pharmacological aspect, which is the chemotherapy, the medication, using the medication to treat the person, or using psychotherapy, the talk counselors to do all those things. So all those things are factors we have, all lifestyle changes or modelings and stuff. So we use all those things to now arrive at a best treatment plans for the person. So somebody who is suffering from depression and we want to treat you, first of all, we have to go by the counseling aspect. We have to give you psychotherapy or psychoeducation. We now educate you on your condition, how it comes about, how it is, and if you take medication, how it will be. So we do that one to you and the client relatives, so that they will also accept that my brother or my son or my wife or this person is suffering from this condition. So how best am I going to cope with the person? So the person is supposed to accept that, okay, I'm suffering from illness, but there's treatment plans for me. If you take our medication, the medications, you'll be stable and you'll be able to do everything that you're supposed to do. So why don't you go on treatment plans? So just as we have diabetes, hypertension, other physical conditions, and you take medication and you are stable and do your day-to-day activities, the same way applies to mental illness. So there are certain conditions like the bipolar, which form the mania, depression, and you have the schizophrenia, the psychosis. Those one we manage the schizophrenic cases or the hallucinations that comes with those conditions. So we have treatment plans. If the person is suffering from depression, we have antidepressants that we use, drugs meant for that. If the person is having anxiety conditions, we have anti-anxiolytics that we use for the person, so that those anxiety conditions the person feel, maybe the panic attack the person experiences when taking those medications, it will limit it to the minimal, so that you can be able to go by your day-to-day activities. Then when you come to schizophrenia, we have antipsychotic. So the antipsychotics drugs deals with the hallucination, the delusion, and the illusion. So the illusion aspect is when I am seeing you, I'm not seeing you as Kofi or the person. Maybe I can see you as a lion. That's why in most mental health hospitals, we don't tolerate pleating of hair by the ladies. At that moment, when the person is beating illusion, the person can see that hair, interpret it in his look as snakes running on your hair. So the person will say, oh, is this snake there? So you want to take something and kill it before you know he hit you and you die. So you see, so we have medication to deal with all those psychotic features that the person presents when suffering from any kind of mental illness. So there's treatment plan, but we can only manage. So we always advise that you seek early treatment, so that we can put you on treatment plans and have your schedules followed, and you'll be stable. But unfortunately, it's one major challenges we face in mental health in the country: supply of medication. You know, you can't treat mental illness without medication.
You can't treat mental illness
without medication. You can do all the psychotherapies, other lifestyle coachings, and necessary education and others. But without the medication, the person's condition, presenting conditions cannot go down. So we normally need the drugs too, but the drugs is expensive. And here is when the government is supposed to supply, and it is free per the Mental Health Act 846. That, mental health treatment is supposed to be free. But here is the case. If you don't have the insurance, they can't treat you, because there's no drug government has supplied you to give. You can maybe there's no drugs at the facility for us to give you. So you're surely going to buy. So if the person doesn't have money to go and buy, what happens? The person will now be left alone and suffer. So it is a great challenge to the with the practitioners.
I see. All right, my man, Nasri, around this macabre, Kofi, and you know, it come or executive director of my BSK Health Advocacy Foundation. You can't about mental health, so your mental health advocates. And I'm paying community our team, but me so maintain the overfound say it should be a bit more area. Benim what you're going through, maybe I say also will be and our kind of say sometimes even depression and anxiety disorders, they all falls under mental illness. And obiwa no she suit pa, and so you can say wabodamo, maybe I know what with them yaria. And anopay my NT free ho. What my young who say, and net I want you ya by Kurano, and my nipa seven on your video yaria. Or say or bath to me fire funu. kwa woso enyinara anaso ko wo akire kura wi a otimi nya adwene mu yare a kire se bi wo ho a yedi frebusuam onya sa frebusuam ebi wo so a eye wa wo ni pedua no se ne wo ni pedua ne te hormonal imbalances enti wan hwe ne yi na bi a ukonom sa jotu yi sa wi bi anaso ukonom sa wi bi tesi bi na de ade na no odin a trigger hormones na ahia na no na akoba de se na sisia na yese ukonom wi na akoboda mi unti wa chechre nyama hodo bebre de enam so a de ba obi wa na ontimi nyina yaw ano ebia na ne maame ewu anase wahwere ne papa bi bia ne kunu bia aware foforo bema okoware no ani be afe ba ko na beba no afiri mu wawu obi wa ontimi stand that pain obi wa na djuma kura bono obi wa exams failure bia ontimi antro so hwe obi okura onya adwuma otifis kasem ayedina ma no obadwene saa na sadepa no otimi dwene ya na no so nya adwemo yare na wakire se enka akire ye betumi aso ebia no but the rest can only be managed. They say entimin twasie enfem free wokura eno no e be so no kakra aho ene asem no but ma also be nyo adwenkyere anopa famra 0541825106 and also say 0303402862 0303402904 anopa ye ne yera besmaka kwabla question be betumi bisa no or your mental health a practitioner and betumi afre 0303402862 and that's 0303402904 and frame a line on our frame line no ama landline and that's 0541825106 or friend no ebia no betumi aba na anpay ye no so edi and combo our cassette video so morning opening match morning oh
morning
from so cassette free
we provide you do me
mesa cassette free adidome mesa yetio anpay
pacho papa no na sem no kan nyina yate na mi meti ho a pacho bianso onye bro over couple of throughout do a while want to this I do or cry sorry idea was on serious person see that's obey the ati anka offer before we chia offer trim it is a brofun kwan o ka dey fa
enyo no fache no ono oba no kan say o problem kakra on ka say brofun na any de but
he should correct himself. He should correct himself because program no your program papa.
Na say we so brofo na also okay.
Oh no, I'm the trim.
I see. Yeah, that's it. Mete wase pa. But say program no very important and
very important. Now can brofo kwa na oka. Na be dey
that's it. Yeah, be sure one aye one adwuma. Enti 05418251 best man is it kakra.
The issue is
and the issue is yes kakra
language barrier. I can't speak the tree.
The language barrier.
Oh, I can't speak the tree.
It was 0541825106 and pay yeah come mental health and on that match to look at credit amount and tell also over how kakra be and I say be na untiasia obisanwa obeya no e dia ma anope morning
citizen
kumanie
Kofi dia
yo kumaye tio anope
yo ende ne papa kan dia sende ende na Kofi ado de Ghana fo nyina ma ya adwene ebomu e se na unam kura na unam na ye calculation me be se me bisa ne se e bia won se oni obi akodi nkomo bi but along the line nkomo no wo ba no won se nya moko kan no wo fi ho no na asa na nema bi cost wadwun se asa se na moko kan no ensu nti si on chase to nam na wo ba na se bia won ko wo ye bi ti sana eno no yɛbɛtumi aka sɛ bi a
na wo kasa kan sa
sɛ nea mokɔ kan no wonte aseɛ ɛhɔ nom no adeɛ wahu sɛ ankɔ yi o ba wofiri hɔ nom no
na wo nkwa na wo kasa saa
afei na wabɛka sɛ hunu sɛ no asɛm no negotiation am kɔɛ na nkɔ yi nti na ɛno no wo kasa na no no obi hyɛ wobɛka sɛ bi a
sɛbi wabɔda mu anaa na sɛ wonya adwene mu yade anaa na mboa
ɛsa pɛpɛpɛ
yo ora kuma yɛda ase opening match
Yaja.
Na yɛfrɛ wo sɛ papa
Oh, Kofi nyame nhyira mo wan.
ɔnhyira wo so anɔpɛ
Mode program papa ba. Na hwɛ Kofi sɛ Ghana yi yɛtie papa no waka asɛm paa o. Sɛ enipa nam hɔ no asɛ wɔ nyare nso no wɔ yare. Efi sɛ hwɛ sɛ dum so aba na ɔmampani kɔ gyina abɔnten sɛ ɛtu atwa ɔbreko a wo ti mu no wonim sɛ aba waduane a wode si fridge mu asɛe wo nkwan a wode si mu asɛe yɛmpa dum so ɔle bɛba a wonim ɛno ansa aba wokɔka napo sɛ yɛmfa saa yɛmfa timetable ne mmra sɛde saa nsɛmfo wɔ nyinaa wokeka ne nipa wodwene ho a ɛbɛma wakasakasa enti papa na topic na ɔde aba no ɛyɛ na mmom Ghanafoɔ yɛnhwɛ yɛn ho de na yɛanka ntim a deɛ bɛba no ɛnyɛ ɛno nti yɛmmɔ mpa yɛ sɛ nyankopɔn bɛma yɛ abɔkyerɛ na deɛ bɛto yɛn bia yɛnyɛ ho
I mean na say yima da say morning your friend say o say hello Adosu your friend saying William oh okay William yetio
nipa kyɛw papa na sɛ mo kan no doctor bi nso atrɛ saa de nipa sɛ nipa a yɛwɔ wiase no asɛm ni obi ani hɔ ni adwumiare obi a wɔ bi na anɔpɛ nya yɛwɔ ha paa sɛ nyame ammoa yɛn na mpɛnfo ammoa yɛn a nipa dodo na ɛyɛ nya adwumiare wɔ Ghana ɛkyɛ sɛ ne ɛkɔ so wɔ man yi mu no ano yɛ den papaapa ɛtɛre bi osikasɛm adwuma no nye sikasɛm nso nye wobɛdi saa sɛ nyame ammoa wonamaa na wokasakasa ɛno nti sɛ ɛno nso no ɛbɛtumi ɛhaw yɛn wɔ adwumiare no ho anaa afei ne ɛtɔ sɛ bien papa ne ɔdi kan ne ɔkan no me radio ɛmfi ahotɔ da bi a hɔ a ne da na programs no a moyɛ no ɛyɛ twi nam ka but wɔn a ɛba no a na borɔfo no borɔso duru yɛn a yɛnti borɔfo no papa no ɛyɛ na ɛdu baabi a
na ɛha dwen
ɛhaw yɛn
Matias mo yɛ da se
ɛnti sɛ borɔfo no bɛtumi aba twi no ɛnsɛm famu a megye di sɛ ɛbɛboa
pɛne yɛ da se pa da se pa William 0541825106 and on Facebook 0303402862 sɛ obi ama ya ai opini besmake na obo ye din komo no obo so sɛ ɛyɛ o kan baby by da enye bipolar psychosocial
biological factors psychological factors and the socio-economic factors
I know the socio-economic factors na nkrofo kan wasem
yeah
I say it yebehwe sɛ eno no how a kwan ben so na ebetumi afa so a sɛnea ɔman mu nyɛma ɛkɔ no ama nipa adwene aboro so no ɛde na ɔmbetumi ayɛ anhwɛ ne ya na ɔmankonya adwemu yare so we'll come there and take dwene mama me ba na ya ba bedum komo machi morning open your friend say
good morning but friend Mohammed
Dikasa free
but my friend Tema community 26
Tema community 26
yeah da masina ajuma kuma mo
yo
e bo o my God yeah I with you na mo ka mo ase ma kire ye e pa ama yesu ye bebe sua ade afre e nchia
enti wo de ne sɛ wani gye ho sɛ de ye no musua bibi de afre mu na meboa yo Mohammed ye nase yes eti now can say a psychosocial yes it means that what side na for air kasesiano say looking at the trend system no say they were mind mo economy man for edwin pa na ono hwe ne ya tien na o metumi aye money oh money.
Good morning, sir.
Open your phone saying
Your family tribe
open shabu kasa free
Achimtafo.
kasa free achimtaf open yetio ano pay
Ka bibi kakra mpese mi se mi ba anawu. Abesi na I'm not stable. After that 1 year time we and my wife was so few. So ama mi niam nyina mi nyina it's not in order. No sunu
all right open my and that's it and yes so ma shede na kafra so okay no am say I know ordinary but me say openi wa hai obetimi a kire obabi a o de obetimi ayo and I say baby a obetimi akoje mmoa bi e de afri my or bismarck obetimi abo papa yi e wo Nsem kan yo.
Yeah, thank you very much.
O say ne yire ne ba ewu with be 1 year ni 1 year time o say
6 years ni
oba ni wu year 6 years ni
and last year May musia na my wife so few
and last year May ya so na wife so free mu ntama obi bia sisi so papa we mo be na ohia.
In such cases, we always advise that the person seeks counseling, psychotherapy, or seek any mental health professional support.
Obu o pe ebe na dwene say I make go hoyi obi humi obeka say bi na bodam ti na me mental health for and I say madwene mo madwene mo yare that is what is in the mind of the people.
So that is the stigma we are talking about. So that's why we always advising or educating the public that anybody ako hospital and ako mental unit or hospital and you say the person it doesn't have any usefulness. Do you get it? So first of all, I think since he's saying the thing is ohano, it shows that he couldn't pass through the grieving process well. So he needs counseling. And in this aspect, we have some other lifestyle changes we can advise him on. Let's say if the person is the type who likes to do something that gives him joy, we always encourage that you put more practice into it. Maybe you are a Christian, you now devote your time to gospel music, the preachings, and encourage yourself. They say the Bible even said David encouraged himself in the Lord.
All right, so in all, come on, if somebody want to seek help and I say, in terms of mental health,
your mental health unit war every district across the country. So uko every district hospital bia your mental health units war or uko Accra your 3 major hospitals in Ghana, mental hospital, Accra Mental, Pantai and Ankafo. The uko unit no now she say case no a serious on to me handle war district level or unit level on to me refer you to go to the specialist care at the mental hospitals. Do you get it? So first of all, you have to seek the treatment at the district levels. You go to every hospital, district hospital, we have a unit. So you now seek care there, and they will assess you and see the level, the severity of your case.
I see.
If you need to be placed on treatment, they will add the treatment to the psychotherapy for you. Then you will now see how best it could. Maybe the person, some of the symptoms is that sleep insomnia. The person on me that. So maybe if my uncle is saying, oh, or Hanwa, maybe it can be that in the night on me that. So if he can't sleep in the night, it's advisable that we help him with anything that will help him that side.
So, I mean, say, but I think it's enough. Nasi, thank you very much. Rob Bismarck Akwabla, Kofi, Executive Director at the BSK Health Advocates Advocacy Foundation. a senior mental health nurse and a practitioner. And I said, thank you so much for your time. My say the next time I'm not you know, thank you for
and the management. We are so grateful.
Thank you. No, say, is that an end point in mental health where it can no longer be managed? I mean, say thank you very much. Kofi was making way for the mid morning. DJ Sticker.